Some truths are buried not by time, but by fear. They say the walls of Balmoral Castle hold more than just royal secrets. In the autumn of 1897, after the passing of Prince Henry, Queen Victoria's distant cousin, the East Wing was permanently sealed off without explanation. Servants were relocated, guards were doubled, and the Queen stopped visiting altogether for nearly 5 years. But no one ever spoke of her, Lady Evelyne Marbury. Lady Evelyne wasn't born royalty, but her marriage to Prince Henry made her one of the most talked about women in court. Elegant, calculating, and fiercely intelligent. Some admired her, others feared her. Rumor had it she practiced old Highland rituals, whispering in Gaelic to paintings of her ancestors, leaving dried heather beneath the Queen's chair. But everything changed on the night of October 12th, 1897. That was the night Prince Henry was found dead, face contorted, eyes wide open, as if he'd seen something that should not exist. They called it a heart attack. But here's the twist. Evelyne vanished that same night. Gone. No carriage, no luggage, just a trail of red silk torn across the East Wing staircase, and a mirror shattered from the inside out. Some say they still hear the sound of heels tapping across the wooden floors, even though no one walks there anymore. And in the weeks that followed, servants began reporting things. Screams in the hall with no source, blood seeping from the cracks of locked doors, and reflections that didn't match the people standing in front of them. One maid, Martha McLaren, claimed she saw Lady Evelyne walking the gardens at dawn, but when she approached, Evelyne turned, revealing hollow black eyes and a bleeding mouth. Martha quit that very night and never returned. The Royal Guard burned all of Evelyne's portraits and removed her name from family records, but in Balmoral, some names refuse to be erased.
For years, the East Wing remained locked, sealed with iron bolts, and watched by guards who never looked inside. But in 1902, a restoration team was ordered to refurbish the castle's lesser-used halls. They never made it past the East Wing. Lead carpenter Thomas Greaves was the first to go in. He was an ex-soldier, tough, rational, not the kind to scare easily. But just 10 minutes after crossing the threshold, he came stumbling back out, pale and shaking, muttering in broken words, "She's still in there. She's waiting." The restoration was halted immediately, no questions asked. That night, Thomas was found dead in his quarters. Cause of death? Self-inflicted throat wound with a chisel. His blood had been used to draw a circle on the wall. Inside it, a crude crown and the letter E. No one touched the East Wing again, but 1 year later, the whispers began. Tour guides and junior staff started noticing that the door to the East Wing would sometimes be ajar, just slightly, and always after sunset. Those who peeked inside described the same thing: a red-draped corridor lined with mirrors, each one reflecting something different than what stood before them. One maid, Eliza, reported seeing a version of herself dressed in black lace, crying blood. Another, George Odkins, swore he saw Queen Victoria in one mirror, but with Lady Evelyne's face. But the most terrifying encounter happened in 1904, when a young prince, Edward, the future king, wandered too close to the Forbidden Wing during a game of hide-and-seek. They found him hours later, crouched beneath a table, whispering in Gaelic, the same dead language Lady Evelyne once spoke. He never played in that part of the castle again. The family told the press he'd had a fever. But Balmoral's staff knew better. They started calling her the Red Widow. And to this day, it's said if you stand by the East Wing mirror during twilight, you might see her watching you from the other side, wearing her blood-red gown and broken crown. Waiting. For what? No one knows. That question haunted the Balmoral staff for decades. Why was she still there? Why had Lady Evelyne, the Red Widow, not moved on? The answer finally came in 1936, just months before King Edward VIII abdicated the throne. An archivist named Leonard Huxley was tasked with cataloging old royal documents in the castle's West Library. Among the dust and decay, he discovered a journal, bound in red leather, untouched by time. It bore no name, but the first line read, "To be queen, one must not just marry royalty, one must bury it." The entries detailed a series of dark rites tied to ancient Pictish bloodlines, rituals meant to grant immortality to a royal consort, but only if certain sacrifices were met. According to the journal, Lady Evelyne had performed these rites, and the final sacrifice? Her husband, Prince Henry. But she died before the ritual was completed. Or rather, her body did. Her spirit, trapped between realms, had unfinished business: to finish the coronation, to be crowned queen, even if only in the shadows. The mirrors weren't just cursed, they were gateways, each one connected to a fragment of the ritual she never completed. The blood, the symbols, the reflections, they were her crown jewels, and she was building her own throne. In 1952, just days after Queen Elizabeth II's real coronation, a local boy vanished near Balmoral's East Wing. No trace, except for a single red glove found on the cold stone floor, still warm. Ever since, sightings of the Red Widow increased during coronation years, almost as if she was trying to return, trying to complete what was started in 1897. One former staff member, now in her 90s, swore that during Charles's coronation in 2023, the East Wing doors opened by themselves for the first time in over a century. No alarms, no guards, just a low rhythmic tapping sound echoing through the halls. Like someone walking slowly, wearing royal heels. And here's the chilling part. The castle CCTV footage from that night, deleted. The backup server, corrupted. All that remains is one frame, too dark to see clearly, except for the faint outline of a woman standing in front of the mirror, wearing red. Some say she's still waiting for the right heir, one who will willingly crown her in blood. Until then, she watches from the other side, and when the time comes, she will return.